For a long time, London followed a very clear pattern: growth, consistent, strong, almost expected, more people, more investment, more opportunity, everything building on top of itself, each year reinforcing the last, each cycle adding more momentum, more demand leading to more development leading to more attraction, and because of that the United Kingdom was shaped around it, not just economically but structurally, a system where one city pulls everything towards it, where decisions across the country are influenced by what happens in one place, where movement has direction, clear, predictable, almost automatic. But what happens if that pattern changes? Not stops completely, not collapses, but slows down, becomes less dominant, less central than it used to be, because that possibility is starting to feel more real, not obvious, not dramatic, but visible in small ways. Not because London is declining, but because the conditions around it are changing, and when the center of a system changes, the entire system adjusts. Because London doesn't exist in isolation. It influences everything around it, where people move, where businesses invest, how cities develop, how opportunity is distributed, how infrastructure is prioritized. So if its growth changes, even slightly, the effects spread. Not instantly, but inevitably. At first, it doesn't seem like much. A few people choosing differently. A few companies expanding elsewhere. A few decisions that don't look connected. But over time, those small shifts begin to stack, and when they stack, they change behavior, not just individually, but collectively, and once behavior changes at scale, the system starts to evolve. Let's start with something simple: pressure, because right now, a huge amount of pressure sits in one place. Housing, jobs, cost of living, competition, everything concentrated, everything building on itself. You see it when someone realizes they're earning more than ever, but still can't move forward. Still renting, still delaying plans, still adjusting just to stay in the same position. That's what concentrated pressure looks like. But here's where it shifts. If growth slows, that pressure doesn't disappear. It moves, spreads outward, into other cities, other regions, places that start absorbing that demand, and when that happens, those places begin to change. Not all in the same way. Not all at the same speed. Some absorb pressure quickly. Others more slowly. Some benefit immediately. Others take time, and that creates variation. Because pressure doesn't distribute evenly. It follows opportunity. It follows affordability. It follows what people can actually sustain, and that creates a more complex system. Then, there's opportunity. Because for years, London held the highest concentration of it. If you wanted to maximize your chances, you positioned yourself there, because proximity created advantage. Being in the right place mattered. But now, that advantage is starting to spread. Cities like Manchester, Birmingham, Leeds, they're not replacing London, but they're closing the gap, building industries, attracting investment, creating opportunities that didn't exist before, and that changes behavior, because once opportunity spreads, movement follows. But movement doesn't look the same anymore. It's no longer one direction. It's not just towards London, it's multiple directions. At the same time, people spreading out, choosing different locations, following different priorities. Some choose affordability, some choose space, some choose flexibility, some choose balance. And those choices create patterns. New ones, patterns that reshape the system. Because where people go, growth follows. Housing demand increases, local economies expand, infrastructure develops, and over time, those places become stronger, more established, more central to how the UK functions. And this is where everything changes. Because up to this point, it still looks like the same system, but it isn't. It's already different. The difference just hasn't fully surfaced yet. Then there's time. Because the way people relate to London changes depending on when they're in their lives. Early on, London still makes sense. Access matters. Exposure matters. Being close to opportunity still creates advantage. But later, priorities shift. Stability matters more. Space matters more. Long-term planning becomes more important. And that's where decisions start to change. Because what works at one stage doesn't always work at another. And that creates movement over time. Not just one decision, but a sequence of them. Then, there's business behavior. Because it's not just people moving. Companies are changing too. Office costs, talent distribution, operational flexibility. These all influence decisions. Some companies expand beyond London. Some build teams across multiple cities. Some reduce dependence on a single location, not abandoning London, but no longer relying on it completely. And that changes the system. Because when businesses spread, opportunity spreads with them. Then there's competition. Because if London becomes less dominant, cities compete more directly. For talent, for investment, for growth. And that competition drives change. Cities improve, adapt, position themselves differently. Some focus on tech, some on finance, some on lifestyle, some on affordability. And that raises the overall level across the system. But it also creates winners and lagging areas. Some places accelerate, others struggle, some attract attention, others get overlooked, and that creates imbalance before stability. Then there's uncertainty, because this shift isn't controlled, it's not centrally planned, it's not predictable in a simple way. Different forces are interacting, at different speeds, in different directions, and that makes the outcome harder to define, because when systems decentralize, they become more flexible, but also more complex, more responsive, but less predictable. And that's where we are now, in the middle of that transition. Then there's identity, because London's role shifts, not disappearing, not collapsing, but evolving. From a single dominant center, to one of several important ones, still powerful, still influential, still globally connected, but no longer the only answer. And that changes perception, because once people stop seeing London as the default, they start considering other places seriously. And that reinforces the shift, because perception drives decisions, and decisions reshape systems. But here's the important part. This doesn't happen all at once. It's gradual, subtle, a change in pace, rather than direction, because London doesn't need to decline for the system to change. It just needs to grow differently, more slowly, more selectively, more influenced by everything around it. And that's enough. Because systems built around one center are sensitive to even small changes. Because those changes ripple outward, across cities, across regions, across the entire country. And those ripples combine, build, expand, until the structure itself begins to shift. And that's what we're seeing now. Not a collapse, not a sudden transformation, but a rebalancing, where growth becomes less concentrated, more distributed, more influenced by multiple places, and that creates something new, a system with several centers, not equal, not identical, but connected, interdependent, each playing a role, and that system is more flexible, more adaptable, more resilient, because it doesn't rely on one place in the same way, but it also creates new challenges, because distribution brings complexity, more variation, more competition, more unpredictability, more need for coordination. Because when growth spreads, managing it becomes harder, but it also creates opportunity. More places to live, more places to build a career, more options overall. And that's what people respond to. Because in the end, people move towards what works. And if more places start to work, movement spreads, and the system evolves. Some people will stay, some will leave. And both decisions will shape what comes next. Because this isn't about London stopping, it's about London changing, and everything around it changing too. Because once the center shifts, even slightly, the entire structure adjusts. Quietly, gradually, but permanently. And that's what makes this moment important. Because the direction of growth is no longer fixed. And that opens up possibilities. Not just for cities, but for people. Because it gives them something they didn't have before. Real choice. And once that exists, everything else follows. Because at a certain point, this stops being about cities, and starts being about people. Real decisions, real trade-offs, real lives. And when enough people choose differently, the system changes. Not suddenly, not loudly, but permanently. And that's what's happening in the UK, right now.